lot this spring, and I think that people are having a pretty good time. I think everybody's doing a great job in remembering how to conduct themselves on the court using, for pickleball, using their own ball, and in tennis, bringing a minimum of 6 tennis balls and using them only when you have to hit the ball to start off in your hand. I just want to go through a few things that I've noticed while people are out here playing, and that's the mental aspect of the game. I see a lot of people, they miss a shot. I got to tell you, everybody, when you come out here, you are going to miss the worst shot of your life. Everybody does it.
Not to the other side of the net. In all those years where he dominated. Another forehand. Wow. When do you ever see Roger Federer destroy a racket?
Venus. Everybody's going to miss the worst shot of their life, and they're going to feel down. You don't want to be too negative when you're on the court. You want to remain positive when you're playing. One of the things that I like to do on the court is I like to do a lot of visualization. Okay, I like to see prior, especially before the point starts. I try to visualize that if the ball's going to my backhand, this is how I'm going to respond. If it goes to my forehand, this is how I'm going to respond. And then from there, I act accordingly, trying to anticipate where the next shot is going to go and how I'm going to play it out. The other thing is relaxing. You have to relax when you're on the court. You have to be very relaxed. You see a lot of players on the court when they're out there, they're spinning their rackets. This is not to be cool. This is a form of relaxation. For me personally, I don't spin my racket, but one of the things that I do is I'll hit and the racket will go right into my opposite hand. I'll hit and I'll go right into my opposite hand, keeping myself as relaxed as I can on the court. If you squeeze the racket too tight, this is where a lot of injuries come in. Okay, you're squeezing the racket tight for the hour and a half that you're playing. Okay, what happens is fatigue sets in. Once fatigue sets in, that's where injuries set in. So it's very important that you remain relaxed with your body when you're on the court. Breathing, okay? You want to remember to breathe. You hear a lot of pros on the court in tennis, as they hit the shot, they grunt, okay? They grunt just as they're about to hit. That's a form as well of relaxation. By breathing out, by grunting, they're breathing out, and they're getting their body very relaxed from their heads down. Okay, basketball players do that. You'll see basketball players when they'll get up to the foul line, they'll bounce the ball a few times, they'll breathe in, they'll relax, and then they'll shoot their shot when they go. So it's very, very important when you do that. Okay. The other thing is, don't let your opponent get to you. Okay? Don't let their antics get to you. If they're negative on the other side, you don't want to find yourself being negative. So be a wall. Be a wall. Don't be a part of what's going on the other side. It's not only difficult when you're competing, but it's also difficult even when you're practicing. If the person on the other side is just really bummed out and stuff, it's going to bring you down, and you don't want that to do that. Okay? But I can also tell you that playing doubles, okay, if my partner is being really hard on himself or herself, okay, it brings me down, okay? So you don't want that to happen. And it's also, you don't want to be giving out too much information to your partner to bring them up, because it's going to end up bringing you down as well, okay? So try to remain positive, not only with yourself, but with your partner as well, okay? And again, try to be calm. Try to be calm when you're on the court, but don't be to the point where you're so peaceful that you become a marshmallow, okay? You don't want to be. But keep your energy up. Keep your energy up. Keep yourself moving. That's one of the things, again, as a former coach, I used to constantly go to my players like this with my fingers to try to get them to move, okay? Try to moving when you're on the court, okay? If the feet go, everything goes on the court, all right? The other thing is, when you're practicing, you want to spend things that you do often, okay, on the court, okay? You want to be able, you don't want to do something that you're not used to doing, so you also want to practice as well. You want to practice things, okay, that you don't normally do when you're playing, because you're going to have to change your tactics, okay? And if you keep the same thing up while you're playing, you're not going to be able to win, because your opponent's going to know you're doing the same thing over and over again. All right, technique, okay? Technique is real important in tennis, okay? You want it. be able to keep your strokes looking the same. You don't want to look like a highlight film on one shot and then a cartoon character on the next shot. Okay, so technique is very, very important, but I always say to everybody, you do whatever it takes to win the point, okay? And if it takes you to win the point by hitting a shot and looking like a cartoon character, that's fine, but you got to have good technique, okay, in order to get to the next level. It's so, so important. One of the things that that you could work on with your technique, and I'll have actually spots to stand over here, is for tennis. Okay, and the key for every stroke is three things. It's preparation, footwork, point of contact. And the preparation doesn't mean just take your racket back. It means turning your shoulders, okay? And one of the things that you can do to work on it is all by yourself, just bouncing the ball and hitting the ball over the net. So you're going to go from your rear to your ear, and you want to catch your racket, keeping your racket head very quiet, very steady on the stroke, okay? Very, very steady through here as you start to come through the stroke. So you see I'm going from my rear, my racket face is closed, I turn my racket face over to create topspin, and I go from my rear all the way up to my ear, nice and relaxed, nice having good hip and shoulder rotation as I come through the stroke, all right? And again, if you don't look good in a controlled situation, you're not going to look good in a situation where you're playing. The same thing, a little bit more difficult, doing it off of your backhand side. You want to prep, you want to show the butt of the racket to the other side of the racket, other side of the court. Okay, you're going to drop the ball over your racket, you're going to drop it, and again, now you're going to go essentially from your thigh to your eye. Okay, nice and high through the stroke. And again, you want to remember to do that because there's one obstacle on the court, and what is it? It's the net. If you're going to miss a shot, you always want to miss the ball deep. All right, then volleys are going to be difficult to work on when you're by yourself, okay? So it's really hard. But again, all you want to do is just sort of just block the ball as you start to go through the stroke. But remember to step forward. You want to remember to transfer your body weight. Hitting the ball hard in tennis doesn't mean you have to swing hard. It means transferring your body weight, all right? Hi, back on the pickleball courts now. Just want to go through a few things with pickleball that people have a tendency to not really think about that is very important, okay? Technique is not as imperative as it is in tennis because the court is so much smaller, because the racket is shorter, okay? And it's just not the same to try to hit the ball 78 feet long, all right? But the thing that you do want to remember is grips, okay? The grip, and the important grip that you want to have, especially when you're in the no volley zone right here, okay, we're right behind the no volley line, is, what is it?
Continental.
Continental grip. You want to keep that continental grip. Okay, you won't have time. So if I had that forehand grip, you can see my racket face is going to close, okay? It's going to close, and I'm going to be hitting the ball down. If I have that forehand grip on the backhand side, the racket face is going to be way open, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse my wrist, and that's going to become a very weak shot. So the continental grip is want to be off of both sides. The other thing is your ready position, okay? Ready position in tennis is more like this, where your hands are out in front of you. So if there's a clock in front of me, say 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it would be at 12 o'clock. In pickleball, because it's so quick around here, most people, what they keep it is they keep it to their backhand side because it's easier not to get handcuffed when you're up at the net. So it's easier if somebody hits it off of my, remember I'm left-handed, if they hit it off of my left hip, I'm able to get it off of the backhand side to hit that shot. Again, if I have the wrong grip, it's not going to work, okay? The other thing is, when you do hit your volleys, okay, you still want to keep your wrist firm, your arm is relaxed, and you still want to follow through. You still want to follow through. If you flick your wrist, whichever way that racket head is now pointing, when you flick your wrist, that's where the ball's going, because the paddle is hard, the ball is hard. So you want to go, and the best way to sort of describe it is though you have 2 milk cartons, and you're sweeping the 2 milk cartons straight off the table, okay? So if I went like this and like that, that ball's going down if my timing's off just a little bit. So I want to go straight through, off of the forehand and the backhand side, all right? All right, the other thing that I'd like to just go through is the serve, okay? Because the serve, even though it's not a shot like in tennis where you dominate, there are some rules in regards to the pickleball serve. And the pickleball serve is you have to hit the ball below your wrist. You have to serve underhand. Okay, and the best way to work on this, and you can work on this at home, okay, is just take a ball in your hand, and it's like bowling, okay? And what you're gonna do is you just, Spaska, would you be able to catch? Okay,
let's see.
as I would just throw the ball right to Spaska, she could just drop it, okay? And, thank you,
You're
right back
welcome.
to me. So right underhand, and just throw it, and then just lift it just like that. And that essentially is the motion, okay, that you wanna do. Okay, I cannot serve by going cross my body like that. That is illegal. Okay, and of course you can't serve underhand. So I'll just show you. Remember, your feet have to be behind the line. You want to be very relaxed. I personally hold my continental grip for the serve. Okay, and I'm very relaxed. I drop the ball and right out of my hand, and it's a nice follow through. Okay, I'm very relaxed. My arm is relaxed. My wrist is firm. And right through the shot. Okay? And again, depending upon, I don't go for anything big because, again, it's not like tennis where I'm trying to move someone sideways and backwards. I do think about going to either the forehand or the backhand side. All right? And then as you start to develop your service game where you're just nice and easy getting it over the net, then you can start working on slicing the ball or putting some topspin on the ball. But that's at a different level. So just try to keep it as simple as you can, try to keep it as relaxed as you can, try to be as positive as you can, and you will have some great results on the pickleball court. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the court soon.